Our next principle, a separation of powers with checks and balances. As we already know, the Founding Fathers created a system that divided the power between local, state, and the national level. They continued that separation by creating three branches: the legislative branch, the executive branch, and the judicial branch. Why did they do this? They feared potential abuses by concentrated powers. In addition to dividing the power up, they also divided labor and allowed each branch to specialize in certain parts of our government. For example, the legislative branch creates the laws. They take the public's needs and wants and they make them into public policy. The executive enforces those laws, and the judicial branch interprets those laws. In addition to separating the powers, they also create a system of checks and balances. For example, the executive branch checks the legislative branch by vetoing their legislation at times, calling special sessions, and recommending legislation. The legislative branch, in turn, can check the executive by impeachment, approving their appointments or treaties, overriding vetoes, and the big one is the power of the purse. If the legislative branch does not approve of programs created by the executive, they will not fund it. The executive will appoint judges to the Supreme Court and also judges to smaller courts. The legislative branch will also create lower courts. In addition to that, the executive branch has to approve the appointments by the executive on the judicial branch. So that's how both those branches check the judicial branch. The judicial branch, they can use judicial review to check the president, to check the treaties, make sure they're constitutional, and to check his actions. In addition to that, by using judicial review, the Supreme Court can judge laws or acts of Congress as whether or not they're constitutional or unconstitutional. That's checks and balances and a separation of powers.